Hey, good morning. Russell of Hotels going live just for a couple minutes. You guys know how I do it. Today is Wednesday, May 6th, or Hump Day. I like saying that. I don't know why, but I just love saying Hump Day. So happy Hump Day to everybody. Um, I'm live on. I just want to make sure that I'm live on the platforms I'm supposed to be live on. So hold on one second. So I'm live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So hope you guys can see me okay. If you are, just raise your hand. No matter what platform you're on, just kind of raise your hand to the roof. Raise the roof kind of thing. But oh, that was a good one. Anyway, I'm Russell L. Edmond, aka Russell of Hotels. Any information you want, just go russellofhotels.com. Tells you everything about me. But hey, I'm all about hospitality, and that's what the daily check-in is all about. It's about checking in and letting you know what I'm working on in the world of hospitality, or in the name of hospitality. Okay. In fact, today is what? It's Global Meetings Day. I don't know if you guys knew that, but it is. In fact, you can see it right here. I put the little logo up here. You're going to see it a little better as I go through some of the scenes that I'm going to go through. But yeah, so it's the industry, it's all about the industry, right? It's all about the meetings industry, which I'm so entrenched in, and a lot of people are as well. So it's very serious. It's something that a lot of us take very serious, and we understand we understand the impact that meetings have on a global basis, right? Meetings, groups, all that kind of stuff, no matter what type of meeting it is. It could be corporate, maybe you got insurance companies, maybe you got law firms, maybe association, government, whatever it is, meetings matter. Meetings are a big deal. And I want to say it accounts for like in the trillions of dollars, right? Globally. So people around the world do meetings, not just here in the States, everywhere, right? So it has a major impact on the global economy. So, we want to do everything we can to make sure those meetings still take place. We have clients, we take care of them. We have hotel partners, or we partner with our hoteliers, as well as our DMO partners as well, DMCs, whatever, anything in the world of hospitality. So that's a little bit about that. But my daily check-in, like I said, I just come on and do a little check-in on what I'm working on, and maybe even have a topic or two to discuss with you. But that's what it's all about. So once again, let me just make sure that yes, I am live over there on Instagram, because Instagram is its own little separate world, so to speak. So feel free to make comments. The comments are open. So just type in the chat, hit the button, bing, and it'll come to me, and then I'll be able to talk about whatever the heck whatever's on your mind, because that's what it's all about. It's whatever's on your mind, not necessarily what's on my mind, but what's on your mind today. But yeah, so I do this daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So yesterday or on Tuesdays, I do On Air with Russell of Hotels. It's a live hospitality talk show everyone's talking about. In fact, if you haven't heard of it, that's okay. You can go and check it out. The replay is there. It's on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Okay, so feel free to check out the replay. Most of the shows that I do will be a replay on those three platforms. Now, Instagram, I'm only live on Instagram. So I'm live right now on Instagram. But what I do with Instagram, I basically take those videos and kind of splice them up, and then put little bite-sized nuggets for people just to kind of eat at their own pace, right? I don't put the entire conversation on Instagram, because Instagram is more for bite-sized pieces, right? I don't want to put the whole entirety of it, because it can be 30, 40 minutes. And who watches something for 30 or 40 minutes on Instagram? At least I don't, right? So but then again, who watches something in its entirety on the other platforms as well, right? But Instagram is its own separate beast. So once again, I don't put the live on there. So I'm live now, but the recording or the replay will not be there. It will be on the other three platforms. So which means you got to change over to the other platform, but that's okay. You can do that. But yeah, so On Air with Russell of Hotels, I guess I didn't finish my thought, the replay is on those three platforms. So feel free to go and check it out, just in case you've never heard of it before. Maybe you don't know who the heck I am, and that's fine, but that's what the replay is for. So go in and check out what I talked about yesterday. So the on air with Russell of Hotels is every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, California time. So PST, that means Pacific Standard Time. So I'm in Los Angeles. So that's when I do the show. Now, this show here, the daily check-in, I want to do it Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but there's no time. So maybe that's why it's best to check it on the replay. But if you're here now, that's fine because the time kind of goes from I can do it as early as 9, I can do it as late as 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It just depends on my time, my availability, what I got going on. You know what I mean? It's all about me, right? It's all about me. So until someone says, "Hey, Russell, you need to start doing this at a certain time so I can check out the daily check-in." Okay, now if you say that, if enough people say that, then of course that's what I'm going to do, right? Because it's all about you. It's never about me. It's about you. It's about the viewers. I see Craig Giangrosso. Hey, Craig, how are you? He's out there in Seabrook, so I appreciate you coming in or chiming in. See, I know where Craig is, so if anybody else comes on, let me know where you're located in this, in the world, okay? Because hospitality reaches everywhere. It's a global thing, okay? It's not just here in California or in Texas or Mississippi. I don't know where that came from. It's everywhere, okay? It's in Spain, it's in Portugal, it's in Mexico, it's in the Caribbean, it's everywhere, right? So the reach is broad. The reach is broad, and that's what you want. So, okay, so I'm looking at a text I just received. But anyway, okay. So hey, what's going on, Craig? Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. So okay, so these things don't have to be that long. I tend to make them long because that's just me. I'm long-winded. So anyway, so I did my little intro. Once again, daily check-in with Russell of Hotels. I'm Russell of Hotels. So we're gonna move on. So I'll never do one of these shows where I'm not highlighting or showcasing a hotel or a destination. Okay, never. I will never do that. Okay, because that's what Russell of Hotels does, right? So as I travel, as I go and check out hotels or different destinations, I'm taking you along with me. Okay, not necessarily physically, but virtually, I'm taking you along with me. So when I take photos and videos and all that stuff, I want to share those with people, especially the people that may be doing the same things that I do, and they're within the meeting industry, or maybe they plan meetings, or maybe they would like someone to help them, with maybe a site or a location for their next meeting. Then maybe they need suggestions. So my job is to make sure I do that, right? And what does that do? It helps me out because I remember those hotels, and then it helps it can help out a potential client because they know what I do, and maybe they'll reach out to me and say, "Hey, I noticed you showed this, and I noticed you do this. Can you help me out?" Because yes, I do hotel site selection, but I also elevate brands on the way to doing hotel site selection. Okay, so I'm already in the hotels, right? So why not take photos, take videos? Why not share them with my network? Okay. Because that's what it's all about, right? It's all about exposure, not just for exposure for me, but it's exposure for the hotels or destinations that, quite frankly, you may have forgotten about, or you may didn't even know it even existed. Okay. So that's my job, right? To elevate brands. And that's what I do. So I was actually on Monday. Today's already Wednesday, right? It seemed like it was just yesterday I was there. So visit Oxnard, which was not necessarily on my radar as far as meetings, but it's all about educating yourself on what's going on in the industry or what's in your backyard, because clients will ask for things that maybe, a lot of times they ask for things that they're familiar with, right? Like, okay, we're in LA. Okay, we're going to plan something in LA. Well, I know damn near everything in LA. Okay. But when they said we want to go outside of LA, we don't want to go too far. Do you know of any options? You know what I mean? So now I know that Oxnard is a viable option for some of my clients, right? Depending on it has to be the right group or whatever, the right fit. But at least I know now. I have a contact there, Michelle Flippo. So she's with Visit Oxnard. So I have a contact. Now I can always contact her and say, "Hey, I have this potential group and they may be interested in Oxnard. Can you, send me some information? I'm gonna send you the RFP. Can you send this RFP out to your hotel partners? This is what they're looking for." Boom, boom, bam. And that's how it works, right? For the most part, that's how it works. I know I'm talking fast, but that's just me. That's just me. I'm wound up today. I'm wound up. So so I was there on Monday and had lunch there. You know what? They have non-meat eats there as well. So there's a couple vegan restaurants that are there. You guys know that I'm always looking for that next non-meat eats restaurant. Okay. And guess what? Oxnard has one or has a couple, but of course I can only go to one at a time. So the next time I'm there, I'll make sure. Well, in fact, the next time I'm there, I'm going to make sure I go to the same place, La Janelle, and get some dessert because I had like a breakfast wrap or whatever, which was muy delicioso. But I wanted to try the desserts, but I didn't need a dessert the other day. But when I go back, I'm gonna need one. So there you go. So anyway, so real quick, I'm gonna go through these slides that I have of Visit Oxnard as well as the hotel that I was able to check out as well. So once again, visit oxnard.com. Just go there. All the information that I'm sharing with you, I mean, you can go on their website and check it out. Did you know this? That there's a good percentage of people that will look at that Visit Oxnard. They'll see this show and like, hey, let me check out visitoxnard.com just to see, because I've never been there before, right? I know it's like an hour away from here in LA. It's like a drive market. As hotel people, we're talking about what's the drive market, right? So the people in Oxnard should be like reaching out to the people in the surrounding area, right? The hotel people should be reaching out to cities or destinations within the immediate area, which is a drive market, like within an hour or so. Well, LA, Los Angeles, is within an hour of Oxnard. So you would think a lot of their business may come from the greater LA area, or maybe Santa Barbara, maybe Central Coast or Central California or whatever. But it's not far. It took me about an hour. I think from freeway to freeway, it was less than an hour. Of course, I got to get to the freeway and I got to get off the freeway and get to Oxnard. But it wasn't a bad drive. In fact, it was a quite pleasant drive. I love the drive. So it's not far. And would I suggest it for some of my clients? Darn right I would. Heck yeah. So anyway, so 9 hotels, 100 restaurants, of course, various cuisines. And this is like they have their own harbor. Okay, a lot of people don't even know that. It's a beach city. It's a beach community. A lot of people don't even know that. Like Oxnard, what the heck is that? It's farming. It's a farming community. Huge on strawberries. Okay. In fact, they have so many of those roadside stands with strawberries. I mean, fresh strawberries, just freshly picked. Oh my God. You know what? Just phenomenal. So it's big on ag, but it is a coastal community, a coastal town, beach community. If you're looking, the whale watching is huge. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on there that I didn't actually realize that was going on. So it's to your benefit, or it's to my benefit to go and check these out firsthand. Okay, because and I told Michelle that it's been about 20 years since I've been to Oxnard. So I didn't remember that it was like 7 miles off the freeway. So you take the 101 highway or freeway to get there, right? I just remember, you see the sign Oxnard. Okay, well, this is it, right? You go off the freeway. Okay, there's a hotel there. Boom, there you go. All right, that's Oxnard. No, Oxnard is away from the 101, maybe several miles away from the 101, which is fine, right? So it gives you a different perspective, right? It's next to Ventura. So it's between Ventura and I want to say, or is Ventura in between there and Camarillo? Camarillo. Okay, so it's right in that kind of same area. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going there. Enjoyed the drive. I enjoyed the drive coming back. There was no traffic either way for me, and that's a huge thing, especially on a Monday morning. Oh my God, are you kidding me? So anyway, so whale watching, all that kind of stuff. You can ride bikes, and oh man, it's just a lot of stuff that you can be doing in Oxnard. Yeah, these are boats that you can take out, for your group. Maybe you want to do a whale watching excursion or something like that. And they have fishing boats as well. A lot of people go and do sports fishing as well. So that's always a good thing, always a good option. But there's a lot of things to do. I'm just scratching the surface on a couple things because those are things that probably I would be interested in. Now, what you're interested in or your groups may be totally different than what I'm interested in, but that's me, right? That's me. So yeah, so okay, so getting to the hotel, Zakari Dunes Resort, which is a Hilton Curio collection, 250 guest rooms, 36,000 square feet of meeting space. So yeah, so very nice hotel, and I have a couple photos. Let's see. So that's the lobby area, and this is from the second level looking down. Very nice hotel. I remember it as a DoubleTree years ago, but I had never been in the hotel. So this is actually my first time going there. And 250 rooms. So they have two hotels in Oxnard that are about 250 rooms. This one and the what is the other one called? Used to be a Residence Inn. Oh my God, I can't even think of what it's called now. It's not a Residence Inn anymore. But anyway, I'll come up with it in a minute. But we're talking about the Sakari Dunes Resort. Okay, that's what we're talking about right now. So this is one of the guest rooms, and all the rooms are suites. Of course, separate living room, separate bedroom. You can see the bedroom right there. In fact, I think I have one of the bed. So it's a king size suite right there. Of course, it has a microwave and all that kind of stuff too. Now, this is the gateway to the meeting space. So this is on the first floor, so lobby level. This is just a hallway to get to the meeting space. Most of the meeting space is right down there. But they have a lot of outdoor space too. So that 36,000 is made up of some of it inside, and then a lot of it, outside space as well. And they have some great outside space. Did I tell you that this hotel is right on the beach? Did I tell you that? I think that's the most important thing, right? It's right on the beach. You can get your beach on. Let's see. There's another meeting space. I love this meeting space right here because it has windows, but the windows are not like floor level, right? The windows are up. So meaning there's not a lot of distraction. You get the natural lighting, but you don't have the distraction, meaning people walking around outside and you're like on the same, eye level as them. So you're like looking outside and it takes away from the meeting. No, the windows are up top. So it doesn't create a distraction. Isn't that kind of good? I mean, I don't know if they planned it like that, when they originally, built this hotel, but it actually works now. Makes sense now. And this right here, this opens to their outside kind of a patio area. And actually you can see the beach from here. I mean, the beach from this room right here, or this meeting space, I don't know. I would say it's got to be less than like 40 yards to the beach, right? Less than probably 40 yards. I wish I had a clearer picture where you can see the sand and all that stuff, but I don't, so I can't show you that. But this is a nice, I mean, maybe a reception out here, cocktail reception, then opens up into, the beach area or the patio area, which leads to the beach. Maybe a little music going on, maybe getting your little dance on, and then walk out there like, oh my God, this is great. The beach is here, So I'm just giving suggestions because that's what I do. Okay, I'm just giving suggestions because that's what I do. But once again, Zakari Dunes Resort, Hilton Curio Collection, 250 guest rooms, 36,000 square feet of meeting space. So yeah, so check it out. So go to the website and just check it out or just Google it. You can go to hilton.com. You can go Google Zakari Dunes Resort and find out about that hotel, especially if you're not familiar with the Oxnard area and this particular hotel. So, check it out because like I said, that's what I do. It's all about expanding not just my knowledge, but everyone else's knowledge because you may not have thought about it. It may not have been on your radar. You may be looking for a place to go this weekend, right? Like, I don't want to stay here in LA. I want to go out, but I don't want to go too far away either. I normally go east, I never gone north. Okay. So here you go. Here's an option for you. So there you go. And that's what Russell of Hotels does. He creates options for people. So there you go. So, okay. So real quick, I have a topic. Of course, Russell has a topic. What the heck is it all about? So the topic for today is why expanding my network matters more than ever. Now I'm saying my network, but this is for people that do what I do, right? Why not expand your network too? It's not just about me, although I'm making it personal. I'm touching myself right here. I'm making it personal. Why expanding my network matters more now than ever, okay? But you can take it and you can use it, all right? So Don't think it's all about me. It is for the most part, but I'm here to help people, right? So why expanding my network matters more than ever. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's see. Let's see. Where am I? So I have one, two. Okay, here we go. Okay, all right. Today, oh, I don't say that. So last week, I mean, where did this all come from, right? Everything always comes from somewhere. So I met with someone last week who I met on LinkedIn. Okay, his name is Fabio Lameña. Okay, so he's with H10 Hotels, the letter H, number one, number zero hotels. Okay, so H10 Hotels. So just go h10.com and you'll see exactly what I'm speaking of, right? Well, I was not familiar with this brand, right? So it's a brand that's based out of Barcelona, Spain. Fabio was here because he was attending a trade show, if you will, for Helms Briscoe. Okay. But, that's a long way to go just to do the Helms Briscoe show, right? I want to call it, what is it called? The Helms Briscoe. There's an acronym for it. I don't know. ABC, right? Is it ABC? Maybe it's a Helms Briscoe ABC conference or whatever. Okay. So he was attending that. But of course, he's going to come out here. He wants to make sure his money, his time goes further than just attending that show. So he made appointments, separate appointments on his own. So I was one of the appointments, and I was so happy that he reached out to me. And I met him on LinkedIn. That's the thing, right? How powerful is LinkedIn? Business development tool. I use it all the time. If it wasn't for that, people wouldn't find me. Okay. And I wouldn't be able to find people. So he found me and said, "Hey, I'm going to be in town for Helms Briscoe ABC. Do you have some time? Maybe we can meet over coffee so I can show you H10 hotels." And I'm like, "Heck yeah. Are you kidding me?" So yeah, so I went out. This was on, was it last Monday? No, it was last Thursday or Friday. And I met with Fabio, and he showed me. We had a brief conversation. It wasn't like I was there forever, maybe about an hour or so, over coffee. I had a matcha. Okay, so I had a matcha at Starbucks. Okay, we met at Starbucks. Okay, so he was able to talk about those things. So that's what led me to this conversation or this topic for the day. Why expanding my network matters more than ever. Okay, I recently met with Fabio Lamenia of H10 Hotels. And through that conversation, I learned about 70 hotels across Spain, Europe, Mexico, and the Caribbean that honestly were not on my radar. I didn't even know H10 hotels even existed until he told me this, right? So and I don't know everything. Okay, yeah, I call myself Russell of hotels, but damn it, I don't know every single hotel chain that's out there. Okay, I don't. I wish I did, but I don't, right? So thank you, Fabio, for reaching out to me. And in fact, do I have Fabio's information here? Let me just see. Do I have any information about Fabio? Because if I do, I'm going to put it up here. And I should have maybe thought about that a while ago. Yeah, let's say this, just throw a quick shout out. Quick shout out to Fabio Lamenia. Okay, and if you look at how I spelled his name, I apologize, Fabio. I didn't put the Nye over the N, but it's Lomenia. Okay, that's the last name. Okay, that's his last name. So h10hotels.com. So check that out as well. So is it h10hotels.com? Let's see. I may have made a mistake on that. Let me see something. I may have made a mistake because I don't want to put the wrong information. I want to say it's just H10. H10. Is it h10hotels.com? Let's see. So I just want to make sure. Yeah, it is right. I did do it right. So it's h10hotels.com. So just how it's spelled right there on the right here under, where's it at? Right here. That's how it is. So it is h10hotels.com. So check that out. Check out those hotels. Shout out to Fabio. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So the hotels are Spain, Europe, some in Mexico as well. And I didn't put Mexico on there, but the Caribbean. So those are all the destinations there. In fact, see, I mean, that's one thing that you can do on the fly is if you have problems, you made mistakes, guess what? You can change them if that's what you need to do. Mexico. You can change them. You can Yes. Hold on 1 second. There you go. Boom. There you go. Okay. See, there you can change everything on the fly. And that's I lost some connection. Okay, we got it back. Hopefully we got the connection back. I did see it flicker. But yeah, so okay. So hopefully we're back. So H10 hotels, 70 hotels that had no knowledge of. Okay, so that's the important thing here. So now that I have that, let's continue on with this brief conversation. So, and in today's time, climate that matters. In today's climate, that matters that we stay in touch with people and that we are exposed to different locations, different destinations, right? Because as a site selection partner, which I am, I need to be able to offer hotels and destinations that my clients may not already be familiar with. Okay. They may not have even known about it. Just like I didn't know about it. Believe me, I have some clients that never heard of it either, right? Because I brought it up to a couple of people that are planners like me. I said, "Hey, have you ever heard of H10 hotels?" They're like, "What is that? What are you talking about?" So, and I let them know that I met Fabio, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is great." So yeah, so it's great that you expose that I'm exposed to these things, and I can share those with everyone else. So okay, so getting back to the topic, why expanding my network is more important than ever. Than ever. Number one, clients want more than the same familiar options. We give the clients, not all the time, but when it comes to international, a lot of times from the States, they're looking for things that are familiar. Okay. So if I plan something, something in which I did in Europe, let's just say in Greece, maybe a year ago. They're looking for something that's familiar, meaning they're looking for a brand that's familiar. So they may not have known that H10 hotels even is an option, right? So now that I know this, I can give those as options because a lot of times they say, well, are there Hiltons over there or there, a Marriott over there? They want something that's familiar. And I get it. I understand because guess what? I look at the same thing. I'm not gonna lie and say I don't, because when I travel, the first thing I'm saying is, well, do they have a Marriott over there? So I understand, but the more you get out of that comfort zone, the better you are, not just for yourself, but for your clients, because the clients, they may demand more. They want, maybe if it's a European based hotel, they want that European experience. Because a lot of times, if we go with the brands, guess what? You're going to get the same thing you'll get over here, with and no shade on any Marriott or Hilton, but sometimes they are not acclimated to the culture there wherever they are, right? It's basically the same hotel that you can get here because it looks the same, it's decorated the same, rooms look the same. The people may be different, right? But they can be regimented in how they do things, right? But if you go with a company that's based there, that's immersed in the culture, you're going to get a totally different experience, right? So that's what it's all about. So number one, clients want more than the same familiar options. Different experiences, unique destinations, new opportunities for the attendees. If I continue showing only the same hotels and brands and the same destinations over and over again, I may be limiting what's possible for my clients. And that's not what you want. So it's not fair to them if I'm just giving them the same things that maybe they can find on their own, right? No, my job is to go out and try to find things that maybe they didn't think about and create that experience. And that's why I thank Fabio for reaching out to me, because now I have more options, right? I have 70 hotels that I did not know existed. Okay. 70 additional hotels. That sounds exhausting, doesn't it? But no, that's good because Fabio is going to help me get through the steps and kind of give it in like bite-sized pieces instead of like all 70. Well, no, let's just concentrate on each destination and what does that destination have to offer. Okay, so that's how I'm going to be doing this. Um, so part of my role is introducing them to options that they may not have even considered, right? So my job is to present options to my clients because they may not have known about these hotels. And if they did, okay, we can still move forward with it. Like, hey, I just happen to have a representative with H10 hotels, and you're going to the Caribbean, and they happen to have one in the same city or the same island that you're going to. What do you think about those as an option? Like, I never heard of that. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and do it, send this out to my, my representative, Fabio, and we're going to come back with some rates, and then I'll share those rates with you once I get them. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's do it. That sounds good. I mean, I'm going to show you some photos as well. Oh my God, this is great. I mean, you just don't know where it's going to go, but you have to have that option. You got to get outside of your comfort zone, because a lot of times we're like this. We got blinders on and we can only see what's in front of us. But sometimes we take those blinders off. You're like, oh my God, there's a whole big world out here. And these hotels, as far as the culture, they've immersed themselves in the culture of that destination. And that's what you want. So don't shortchange your clients, right? Do them a favor and give them other options. It's up to them to choose it, right? But give them options. There you go. Number two, expanding my network expands my value. Every new hotel relationship creates more opportunity, more inventory, more destination choices, more flexibility based on budget and program goals. Okay, so whatever that is, the more hotels and partners I know globally, the more solutions I can provide for my clients. That's value. Okay, that gives value, right? That expands my value. They're like, oh my God, Russell's giving us these options and they seem great. Let's go ahead and choose one. And then once they choose one of the options you gave them, and then an option that they didn't even know about, and it goes well, oh my God, what does that do for you? I mean, that expands your value, right? And that's what you want. Well, hey, when we do another program like this, contact Russell. That's who we're going to go with, because he showed us these options. We had a great experience. The whole group had a great experience. This is wonderful. So there you go. I have to add a little to it, right? And number three, the hospitality industry is constantly changing. In today's market, booking patterns are shifting. We all know that. Clients want fresh experiences. Yeah, everybody's all about the experience, right? It's all about the experience. Some destinations are becoming more attractive than others. Yes, they are. That means I can't stay comfortable or rely only on what I know already. So I can't just rest on my laurels, right? No, I have to constantly be looking for something new, because guess what? The client is going to demand more than what they're comfortable with, right? You always want to give them options, right? Now they may come back to their comfort level, right? But give them options and let them know, why am I giving you this option? Because I've been in these hotels, I've experienced it. I wasn't familiar with them before, but I have experienced it, and I can say this is a great option for this particular group. Yeah, of course, I have to go there and check it out. And guess what? That's what I'm gonna do. All right, I'm gonna go and check it out, and then let you know from there, right? At least get a couple of those hotels under my belt so I can see all the services different. They are immersed in the local community and things like that. And that's what a lot of times that's what we want anyway, especially when we travel abroad. At least that's what I'm looking for. I'm not going to Spain or anything like that looking for a McDonald's or a Starbucks. Okay. I'm looking for their local coffee houses, right? I'm looking for all this other stuff that has that, that Spanish flair or the feel, of being in Spain, right? So that's what I'm looking for. Even if I have to find non-meat eats, I'm still looking for something that has that experience, that maybe they're cooking with the same spices that they'll be cooking, regular meals with, right? I'm all about non-meat eats, right? So I'm looking for creativity. And who says that they're not creative as far as non-meat eats in Europe or any other countries as well, right? So my job is to discover that, is to go out and find it. Then that way I can, just like I'm finding, hotels, I got to look at the food too, right? That's one of the top things for me. I have to do that as well. I want to see how creative these countries are, or these destinations are. So anyway, so where am I? Some destinations have become more attractive than others. Yeah. That means I can't stay comfortable or rely only on what I already know. Got to expand your horizon, Russell. I have to continue learning, networking, and exploring new brands and destinations so I can stay ahead of my clients. You never want to be on the same level as your client. You want to be a couple steps ahead. They didn't think about that. So I'm going to bring that up to them. They're like, oh my God, you're right. That is great. I see Craig Sullivan. Hello, Craig. How are you? Aloha. Thank you so much for joining over there on Instagram. So, so there you go. So I have to continue to learning, right? So at the end of the day, this business is not just about knowing hotels. It's about continuing to grow your knowledge, your partnerships, and your options. Okay. So that's what it's all about. Because sometimes the best hotel for your client is the one that wasn't even on your radar. Okay. They may not know about it. Like I keep saying, I keep reiterating, they may not have known about it until you presented it to them. Right. So, one thing that I try to do now, even here in the States, right? So if I know like a client wants to go to a certain destination, and I know within that destination, there's a lot of brands, right? Brands that everybody recognizes. But I always want to make sure if there's like independent hotels there too, I want to make sure that I give those as an option too, because they may not have heard of it, right? And it may be a great fit for that particular group. But if they didn't know about it, they can't select it, right? So at the end of the day, it's still their decision, but I'm going to make that an option for them to look at. Like, and then they'll ask me, "Hey, what do you think about this hotel? I've never heard of this before." I say, "Oh, yeah, it's a up and coming brand. They've been around for a while. I've actually experienced one of their hotels before, and just kind of talk it up, if you will, right?" But a lot of people don't know about the independent hotels, so I look at it as my job is once again to elevate different brands, right? If that's an independent hotel, and that's fine. Okay, that's okay. That's a good thing to do. That just once again increases your value as a hotel site selection person, right? So there you go. So that's one thing that I always do. I always do. And the last thing. So this is my quote of the day. I always got to end it with a quote. All right. The more options you can bring to your clients, the more valuable you become as a hospitality partner. And we all want to be partners, right? That's what I want to be at least, right? So there you go. So it's all about the options. It's all about immersing yourself. It's all about networking with the right people that maybe you didn't know about before. It's all about using LinkedIn, right? And once again, thank you to Fabio for reaching out to me because, like I said, I didn't know that this hotel company even existed until he reached out to me maybe 2 weeks before he was coming to LA. And he said, "Hey, I want to meet with you." I'm like, "Okay." And I don't get me wrong, I did my research on Fabio too. LinkedIn, everybody has a profile. Well, everyone should have a profile on LinkedIn. Okay. If you don't have a profile on LinkedIn, well, first of all, shame on you, nanny, nanny, nanny. But you need to have one. You need to have one. And your company needs to have one too. So it's not just about you, the hotel that you represent. I can't tell you how many times I go through, and every time I post something and I talk about a hotel or a destination, I'm going to tag them, especially on LinkedIn. I'm going to tag them on that conversation that I had or the posting, when I create content. I'm going to tag them on it. But the thing that really frustrates me and ticks me off when they don't have a profile. I'm like, who doesn't have a LinkedIn? What company doesn't have a LinkedIn profile? I'm like, what the heck? They're missing the boat. Okay. They're missing out on things. So it ticks me off to no end when I try to find either a person or a brand, meaning a hotel or a destination that does not have a LinkedIn profile. That's the silliest thing I've seen in my life. Okay. I mean, somebody out there's like, well, you need to get a life then. If that's the silliest thing you've seen. Uh, so it's important. I'm saying that to say this, it's important that everyone has that. So anyone watching this, if you don't have a profile, a personal profile, like you can go Russell L. Edmond. That is my profile page on LinkedIn. Or if you're watching me now, that's where you're watching me on. And then I also have a business page, Russell of Hotels. So you can tag me either Russell L. Edmond or Russell of Hotels, and it will come to me. I will see it, right? So if you work for a DMO, your name is just say I'm Russell of Hotels, and I work for XYZ DMO. XYZ DMO should have a profile page as well as me, Russell Edmond. Okay. So it's one and the same thing, right? So just make sure that we always going to have two then, right? Your personal one and the business that either you work for or the business that you own. Okay. No way around it. You should have that. Okay. In this day and age of business development, LinkedIn is for 100% for business development. That's how I use it. Right. So, and I'll say this again, if it wasn't for LinkedIn, I wouldn't be able to do some of the things, a lot of the things that I do now. I wouldn't find the clients that I found now because they see me all the time. And that's what it's all about. It's all about that repetition factor, right? If you're not known, start working LinkedIn, and damn it, guess what? At some point, you'll be known, right? But you have to, it's work involved with that. It's not easy. It's consistency, is the visibility, it's that elevation of your brand. I mean, you have to take all that stuff serious. Because it's a full-time job doing that. And anyone that has done it and build their brand, they know exactly what I'm speaking of, right? But if you don't have one of those, if you don't have a presence, then you're behind the eight ball already. So just make sure, go and just look. It's simple to look. Just go to the space bar and see if your company or organization has a type in the name of your company or organization. Do they have a profile page? If they don't, take it to the powers that be and say, hey, you need to have this. Okay. But you on a personal level, you should already have it, right? But if you don't have one, please do so. In fact, I was trying to find someone, and I'm not going to put her on blast, but it was a hotel that I happened to go to a couple of days ago. And this person's a sales manager. And I looked for her name, and her name was not on LinkedIn. So, which tells me she does not have, unless she has a different last name, she does not have a LinkedIn page. And I'm like, what the heck? Who doesn't do that? And if it was somebody old, then I'm gonna give them a pass. But they weren't older than me; they were a kid. I'm like, who doesn't have that? So anyway, I can go on and on and on, but I don't want to at this point. That's funny, Russell. No profile. Yeah, well, I mean, Craig, come on now, help me out, help me understand. Okay, it doesn't make sense. But I see Andrew. Thank you so much, Andrew, for coming on. Craig as well. We got two Craigs on. I got Craig Sullivan and Craig Giangrosso. So I appreciate you guys coming on. And Andrew is out. He's in Italy. So I appreciate that. So I know the people there. I got people from around the world that are coming on here. And that's what I love, right? It's all about that global reach that a lot of people don't realize, that when you with social media, you can get that global reach that you couldn't get before, right? So I'm just happy and appreciative of that. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming on. Once again, the more options you can bring to your clients, the more valuable you become as a hospitality partner. And that's what I want to be. That's what I want to be. And once again, shout out to Mr. Fabio Lameña, hhotels.com, h10hotels.com. 70 hotels over Spain, Mexico, Europe, and the Caribbean. So there you go. That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. See, I love this. I love this. This is great. This is great. Who doesn't love this stuff? Anyway, once again, it's Meetings Day, Meetings Industry Day. As you can see, the logo over here. In fact, you probably can see it a little better here. Can you see it better there? Yeah. So there you go, right there. Okay, right above my head, right? So once again, shout out and thank you to the Zakari Dunes Resort out there in Oxnard. A lot of people don't think of Oxnard as a viable, meeting destination. You know what? That's up to the client, right? It's up to the client. My job is to elevate and make people aware of destinations. Okay, elevate them. Okay, promote them. That's my job, right? It's the client's job to let me know that they don't want to go there, right? But I have to give options. I got to be several steps ahead of the client, right? Because you never know what the client's going to ask you. Do you happen to know about Oxnard? We want to go in that area. Like, boom. Okay. Yeah, I sure do. So there you go. So there you go. Just make sure you have options for your clients, because that's what it's all about. So other than that, let me just hide that. Other than that, that is it. You guys have a great day. Thank you guys so much. Remember, the daily check-in with Russell of Hotels comes on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I still have 2 more days. I got Thursday, tomorrow, and Friday to do this. So we'll see you again tomorrow. Any questions at all? My QR code is right here. Just click on the QR code, and my email is right there. And that's kind of my choice of how I like to respond to things and communicate with people. And that's fine. But you communicate the way you want to. If you want to pick up the phone and call me, if you want to go to my website and call me, I appreciate that as well. In fact, I'm gonna give you the big QR code. There you go. That's the big one. Okay. So go to this one right here, and that gives you my website and my email. boop, 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 boop. So yeah, so so somebody, I know someone is clicked on it. See, that's I get the notification. When somebody clicks on it, I get a notification that someone clicked on it. So thank you so much. Appreciate that. But feel free to reach out to me anytime you have any questions at all, because that's what I'm here to do, right? I'm here to answer questions. I'm here to assist, especially when it comes to meetings and events and all that kind of stuff. So and no question is silly. Okay. I'm here to answer all the questions, even the silly ones too. No, I'm joking. But anyway, I think that's it. Let me just check over here on only, let's see, only one reason not to have a profile and to be stealth company, but doesn't want people searching them out for various reasons. Yeah, I can get that. I can understand that they want to fly under the radar. I get it, but like I said, I'm always going to go back here to saying in this day and age, um, you have to have it. I'm just saying. Now, there's some companies, yeah, that don't want that, but I think the companies I deal with, they just don't know that they should have one. When it comes to hotels, meeting planning companies or whatever, I understand some clients, maybe their company they don't want on there. I understand that, but they should at least have one. Okay, but hey, whatever. But I just think it's important. It's important for me in what I do. But yeah, I understand. Maybe some law firms they don't want to be inundated with a lot of information or whatever. But I don't think that takes away from the person that I'm dealing with. They need to have information on there so people can find them. Okay, so but there you go. So that's it. No, I appreciate those comments though, Craig. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody. I specialize in silly questions. That's not a silly question. That's not a silly question, not a silly response. I appreciate everything. I appreciate the comments. So thank you so much, Craig, for that. Shout out to Craig Giangrosso, Craig Sullivan, of course. Thank you again for joining. Andrew out there in Italy. What is it? Ancona, Italy. And there you go. In fact, Andrew, you need to give me dates. When are you coming back to town, right? This is May. You normally come back to town sometime soon, right? So maybe in the next couple months. So I need your date. So just so I know, just we know to expect you. Okay. And I can tell Phil next door. Okay. You have a great day as well, Craig. Thank you so much. Aloha to everybody. And you guys have a great day. And we'll see you again tomorrow. So as always, peace.